Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games.
Hi, John.
Today we're here to showcase a new expansion for PoE 1. It's certainly been too long since we had one of these.
Hace mucho tiempo que
We
no
had some
tengo.
struggles as a studio for a little while there, but we've got our shit together and we're back in action now.
Gracias, Nico.
Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas is coming out 1 week from now on the 13th of June.
¿El
And we're
13 sale de la
committing
liga?
right now to a 4-month cycle for both PoE 1 and 2. That means the next PoE 2 league will be in August, and the next PoE 1 league after that will be in October. Twitch drops are enabled
Octubre
on
Liga de
today's
PoE
livestream,
1,
so
agosto
you'll be able
Liga
to
de PoE
claim
2.
your Skull of Undeath helmet skin by following the
Lo
instructions below.
reconfirmaron, ¿eh?
This
El
Skull of
ciclo de
Undeath
4
will
meses.
track and show your total number of kills, deaths, and your KDR. Just because Path of Exile isn't a first-person shooter doesn't mean this isn't important.
Gente,
Proudly or
les pido disculpas de
shamefully,
antemano.
link it to
Tengo
your
un
friends
problema con
or
el
a global
OBS
chat to
y si
show it
cambio
off.
la... Si muevo la cámara explota a
With that,
veces,
let's
así que
get
no
to
va, no va a mover la cámara.
Secrets
Después lo
of the
vemos bien cuando salga en YouTube.
You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know.
Nuevo personaje. Puedes ir a 1000 mundos y aún no descubrir quién
But
eres.
now, I seek something more tangible.
Pero ahora busco algo más tangible.
Someone I care for. Trapped within the Atlas.
¡Oh! ¡Sun is back, baby!
Memories.
¿Venarios 2?
Made grotesque. Made foul.
Oh shit, that's a good boss.
These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated.
Men, los FPS están pero cayendo horrible aquí. Pero soy increíble igual.
We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
Tengo que salvar a mi hermana. Literalmente el hermano de Sana. ¡Epa! Nuevas mecánicas endgame. Nuevos bosses de pináculo. Holy, dude, ese boss se ve criminal, man. Un completo King's March. Crafteo de runas. Betrayal Reworked, así ya sabemos lo que es. Más, incluyendo Mercenarios de Tartus. Oh, mira, sí son como un... No le digan, no es como un minion, ¿ok? Como un compañero, como un pan. Oh shit, ese boss se... Quiero ver más ese boss. Holy dude. Dice, la sanidad no es algo prometido aquí.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts,
Hi,
Game
Mark.
Director on Path of Exile. As you just saw from the trailer, there's a lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas
Endgame primero es lo que va a
update.
mostrar.
Then, we'll explore the new challenge
Liga de
league, the
Mercenarios.
Mercenaries of
Oh
Trathus.
my god.
After that, we'll cover the
Integración
integration of
de
gold
oro.
into PoE 1 and how we're bringing Settlers of Calgary
Settlers
into the core
Backcore.
game. Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality-of-life improvements. Then, we'll wrap up by discussing our Boss Kill race event,
Boss Kill Event.
showing you our new supporter packs, and
Supporter
ending
pack,
with a live
okay.
Q&A session.
Ay,
where
ojalá los
ZBD
supporter
will
packs sean
ask
una
Jonathan
mierda
and
para que no me den
I
ganas de
your questions
comprarlos.
from Twitch chat. In Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas, strange rifts have begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned and appears to be trapped within.
Sana
Partway
está
through the
atrapada,
endgame,
ok.
you will meet Egan,
Egan.
an intelligent man of mysterious heritage. These tears in reality he has discovered are actually threads of memory, distorted and made real by the Atlas. Egan is able
Son
to create
memorias,
a link to
okay.
these memory threads and open portals to them. Working with Egan, you must step through and find Zana,
Tienes que
or
entrar a las
whatever
memorias
remains of her.
y buscar a Sana o encontrar lo que quede de ella.
Okay,
Zana es el
so
boss
that's
final.
the
Fuck.
story background. But how does this expansion actually work? In the Secrets of the Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline that is introduced in high-tier maps. Upon meeting Egon and discovering the tier, he will then transfer it to your map device and reveal this on your Atlas.
Oh,
A
ok.
thread of memories.
Una línea de
In
memorias.
order
ok.
to now access each map on the thread, you simply need to talk to Egan when you're ready, and he'll open the areas in sequence.
Tiene el mapa. Ok.
These areas can be fully influenced by your Atlas
Las
tree,
puedes influenciar.
scarabs, fragments, and everything of the sort.
Ok, como un mapa, entre comillas, obligatorio
As
que
you
puedes
work your way
hacer.
along the thread, you will discover that these maps have manifested dangerous threats, influenced by the memories of Zana herself. Monsters here are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb this power, which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat.
O te dan
Different maps on the
pétalos.
thread have different abilities, and these abilities appear on an additional mini skill bar next to your regular skills. For example, Memory of Disbelief will cause all affected monsters to stop dropping equipment items, meaning they can now only drop more valuable items, like currency and maps.
Dice que
Memory
es
of Panic will
una
make
memoria
all
puede evitar
affected
que
monsters
dropeen
revive
items para que
immediately
solamente
after
dropeen
death,
currency
which
o
means you
cosas que no
can
sean
get
items.
twice as much experience and drops from them.
Hay uno que dice que
And
te
Memory of
dobla la
Impatience will
experiencia.
cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily increasing your power.
Uno que te da
As you progress
Nemesis.
further into the thread of memories, the maps can have more than one memory, and thus you can have more than one powerful ability.
Ok, entonces
As you gather memory petals, you can use these powers together.
Sentinel,
Each skill costs its own
Síntesis,
amount of memory petals.
tuvieron un hijo y es esto.
So using the examples
like it.
above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become way more powerful, then use Memory of Panic to prepare them to revive when they are slain, then use Memory of Disbelief to cause them to drop better, more valuable items. Finally,
Ok, o sea, puedes hacer
obliterate
que
them all.
revivan. Entonces lo que
The
hizo
Memory
fue,
of Panic will
se
kick in,
buffió que
causing them
dropeen
to
más
revive,
items y que
and then
revivan.
wipe them out
Los
again,
mata dos veces.
allowing you to get all the experience and enhanced drops twice.
Damn.
There are many combinations of these powers, so you'll have to carefully
En otras
consider how
palabras,
they
sí,
best
Magic
work
Find
together.
League, man. MF League, baby.
That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer. As you defeat the boss of each map along the thread,
Oh.
you are presented with an altar. This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread, and these will stack as you go.
Oh,
so the
o
deeper
sea,
you delve into a memory,
tú bufeas los
the more
siguientes mapas
mods
que
you
vas a
will
hacer
have.
en la línea.
This, combined with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile.
500% increase quantity de
Let's take a
petals.
look at some of the altar mods.
50%
You
de
are
chance de
always
que los bots
presented
estén
with two
poseídos.
choices and must pick one. This mod, for example, will cause some rare monsters to be possessed by tormented spirits. Where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft. Both of these apply to all subsequent maps in the thread.
HH
The final map
690
of each
igual.
thread is a true challenge, with all the altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss. Each of these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike, drawn from Zana's memories and warped
Damn.
by the Atlas into something very different and terrifying.
Dice que los bosses son,
In this
son
map, you will
parecidos,
fight
pero
the pinnacle
distintos.
boss, Cirrus. Fueled by Zana's affectionate memories of him, his enhanced abilities can prove to be a unique challenge.
Oh, shit.
If you manage to defeat Cirrus, or one of the other warped memory bosses, they will drop a map fragment, which Egan can use to delve deeper into the memory tears.
O sea, hay bosses alterados
With
con nuevas
these, you can
habilidades.
access a set of 3 new
Echo of
pinnacle
Loneliness.
bosses.
3 nuevos bosses de Pináculo.
In this arena, the moment of reverence, Zana is reliving a memory of her father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath. The Atlas distorts this memory of her father as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions into a
Incarnation
twisted
of Dread.
nightmare, incarnation of dread.
Damn, dude. ¿Qué tan duro
Another
pega eso?
memory
Porque nos va a comer
created
todo
is the
seguramente.
incarnation of neglect and the incarnation of fear. Good luck, exiles. Of course, if you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, each of these new pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them.
¿Qué nuevos ítems?
If you slay the incarnation of
Caller.
fear, you might be lucky enough to find the Star Caller unique
¿Cuál es
abyssal
esa?
axe. We're
Damn.
gonna show this one because it's straight up badass.
La vamos a botar porque simplemente
The
está muy rota.
Starcaller axe is a weapon that can harness the power of the stars themselves to deal
Oh,
immense
ya sé
damage.
qué build voy a hacer.
What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall.
Bueno,
a
ya
new
sabemos
skill.
lo que vamos a
With
jugar,
the right
gente.
build, you can carpet entire areas and
Ya
wipe out
tenemos
streams
starter.
of enemies as you rain down the elements upon them.
Ok, bueno, duelista
Another item you
o
may
marador.
find, and this one is my favorite, is the Wine of the Prophet unique flask.
Gold flask.
It consumes a lot of charges, but every time you use it, you draw a random divination card. This card appears above you and correlates to a powerful buff. If you draw the Escape card, you'll gain increased movement speed. Or maybe you'll draw the Doctor, which will cause you to gain the modifiers of slain rares you kill. Effectively, you can think of this unique as being many other uniques all in one. There are many cards to draw, each with varying degrees of power to grant.
Burning Blood, The Feast.
But let's get back to the
Ahora que ver esto, pero eso es interesante,
After defeating all 3 new pinnacle bosses, you'll be able to find new memory-influenced Tier 16 maps. These maps come with the previously mentioned special abilities and monsters infused with memory petals, but can also roll the same modifiers typically found on Tier 17 maps, making them far more rewarding. With all these new memory maps,
o sea, un Tier 16 como un Tier 17.
Items in these maps can drop with memory strands, and will have a random amount up to 100.
Memory strands.
This does a few things. When you identify the item, it will increase the tiers of modifiers your item has. Generally speaking, the more memory strands, the better the item will be. On top of this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or add modifiers, such as alterations, chaos, and so forth, it will consume some memory strands to make the crafted mods more
Consume el número de memory strands. Es como la
The new
Zipo,
pinnacle bosses
pero lo
also
va haciendo al
drop new
azar.
crafting currencies, which can be used to manipulate the amount of memory strands on an item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands to any normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it. The Orb of Unraveling will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers.
¿Qué?
This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes. The Orb of Intention can be used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops, but improve the chance to find items with memory strands.
¿Qué?
In the process of adding these new currency
eso está
items,
rotísimo.
we realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own Exalted Orbs. This has now been rectified. Both bosses now
Todo
have
lo voy a
Exalted
explicar a
Orbs,
profundidad,
which
porque
can add their influence
no se
to an
preocupen.
item. Zana was there from the beginning, when the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first added. She helped defeat the Elder, and she was a critical part of the Conqueror's storyline. Now, with all 6 influence types having their own Exalted Orbs, the cycle is complete. It's almost as if we could now do some sort of new, epic, unique item to interact with them.
Oh no.
In other news, there of course has to be Atlas passive tree support for this new in-game content. Let's take a look at a few things we're
Dice como que ahora tenemos todas las orbes exaltadas de todas las influencias, como si pudiésemos hacer algo muy épico con esto.
For the amount of
Y no
memory
vamos a hacer
strands
nada.
on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means it will roll the number of memory strands twice, keeping the highest value. By allocating traumatic experience, remembered kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at finding the memory threads you would like to run.
Ya. Esto es para
This
conseguir
is
algunos 3
especially
bosses.
useful if you want to target farm a specific boss.
¿Qué tan
because of
duros
its
serán
unique
esos
item
bosses?
drops. In
¿Tendrán
sum,
versiones
the
jugadas?
secrets of the Atlas will have you questioning what is real as you attempt to free Zana from warped memories scattered throughout the Atlas. You'll fight new Guardian and Pinnacle bosses tormenting her, find crazy new Pinnacle uniques, combine and unleash memory petal-empowered skills, juice maps to new heights, and craft powerful new items. While we were showing all the juicy rewards from the new in-game system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping. Let's talk about that. Gold was introduced during the Settlers of Kalgur expansion. It funded the development and operations of King's March, along with various new features such as the currency exchange, the black market,
sí. Tengo un año
and the
haciendo
passive
esto.
respec system with Faustus.
Tenemos un año haciendo esto, I know.
Those features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other services King's March has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry. King's March has already been completed. There will be no more town building.
No tienes que construir el pueblo.
Like before,
Ya está hecho.
gold will be used for town services, but we're also adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league. it's time to talk about Mercenaries of Trathus.
El oro se va a usar para el pueblo y para los mercenarios, pero ya está construido.
All the way from the lawless cities of Trathus. They're ready to offer their sinister services, but not for free. You will encounter these mercenaries as you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities and come with different builds, skills, and items already equipped.
Tienen sus personalidades, tienen algunos ítems equipados.
As per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction. Before beginning the duel, you will be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered.
Okay,
Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ, and any support effects augmenting those skills. You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them. If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast.
¿Hasta cuándo?
Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a great opportunity to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using? Generally speaking, mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters.
That's not bad.
As they've been crafting their items too.
That's pretty good. That's un buen anillo.
Items.
Oh,
Those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them. One such unique is Scornflux. These boots combine agility with the mastery of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed, which is worth noting is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up from 10. They also grant Arcane Surge when you use a movement skill. This allows for some speedy spellcasters.
Okay.
Sometimes you may meet particularly infamous Trathan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the 4 major death trade families in Trathus. They are less common, but have far better items. They are also the sole source of items with new, infamous modifiers, unseen before in Rayclast, such as these gloves, which convert all of your minions' fire damage to chaos damage.
Minions.
Which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage as you gain more fortification.
Eso es un buen casco también, y es una buena base.
If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets. If you lose the duel, don't worry. You don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trathan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Rayclast tradition. So
you're dead.
You'll just die.
Almost at me. Well, not really.
While playing in a party, each player can decide whether or not they want to participate in combat against the mercenary. For each player that opts in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch.
Okay. ¿Ahora algún mercenario con un mirror encima?
Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up their allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here, this mercenary is an Eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused Scion. This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and buffs I provided.
Cada mercenario tiene un arquetipo. Hay unos que este es muy agresivo.
When I'm playing a more aggressive character myself, though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a Striker, who can spawn with Vigilant Strike. And if you're lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the Fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to apply to me as well.
He will
also frequently use Enduring Cry, taunting enemies off of me, and operating as a tanky frontline while I blitz off damage from the back. Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal. For example, this sniper is using a Trathan version of Siege Ballista. If you're lucky, you will be able to select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trathan gem as promised.
Oh, o sea, sí hay nuevas
You can
gemas.
only have one
Pero son
mercenary
versiones-
accompanying you at a time,
Claro.
but up to 3 total in your service.
Oh, puedes guardar
The
a
other
3
two
mercenarios,
will
pero
wait
solamente puedes tener uno a la
patiently in
vez.
town. Having varied options is useful, as there may be situations where you need specific backup, like a difficult boss fight. Any of your mercenaries you have active, or in your reserves, can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing.
Los puedes armar.
They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the
O sea,
campaign.
no
and
levelean, pero los puedes armar, boludo.
if your mercenary falls in combat, you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies to
Si
get them back
mueren,
on their
tienes que
feet.
revivirlo.
Then perhaps consider giving them some upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to clarify, mercenaries do not lose their equipment when defeated.
Los mercenarios no pierden su equipamiento cuando mueren. Okay.
If your merc buddy consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
Ah, pero le quitamos las vainas antes, claro. Fuck you.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Earlier, I mentioned you could exile mercenaries.
You win.
If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, the gear is trash and they have no auras,
Sí.
you can then choose to exile them.
Si no te gusta el mercenario,
If
puedes
you win the
exiliarlo.
duel, they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while.
Ah, exacto.
Now,
Exilias el
alongside these new
arquetipo y no lo vas a ver por un
arrivals,
tiempo, así
we
puedes
shouldn't
buscar lo que
forget about
quieras.
the recent Kalguran ones too.
You're fired!
As we mentioned earlier, the Settlers update introduced gold-based
Básicamente.
respecking of passive points. You can now do so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestel and Lionized Watch.
Ok, Pestel te puede ayudar con el
Black
respect.
market item gambling, previously just available in Kingsmarch, is now available in each town at the same NPC.
Cada pueblo tiene
This lets
también
you
su,
buy randomly generated item bases for
su black
gold.
market.
Very useful if you're stuck for upgrades or searching for a
O
specific
sea,
unique.
básicamente la idea de poder
The currency
dos opciones
exchange
por
will
uno.
be returning too. Starting from Lionized Watch in Act 6, you'll be able to find Faustus, who
En
can
el
help
acto 6 vas a
facilitate
poder
these
usar el
trades.
currency exchange. Desde acto 6.
Now, after almost a
Man,
year of building,
that's pretty
Johan
good.
is finally satisfied with the upgrades made to the town.
Después de casi un
And
año de
now its
construirse.
services can be used
Sí,
to
lo
their
construí
full
como
effect.
4 veces, amigo.
Kingsmarch is going core, but there will be no more town building.
Ok.
As you start running maps in the endgame, you'll start to find different ore veins, which Kalguran workers can mine for you. The shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops
Ok, se
to
quedan los
Karui
barcos.
and Kalguran ports,
Las runas es
and
la
they'll return
pregunta.
rewards in kind.
¿Se quedan las
By
runas?
sending shipments, you'll receive different items. But by sending to
Tattoos?
Karui ports, you will also receive tattoos,
Ok.
which can be used on your passive tree to change
A
what
los puertos
stats they grant.
de Karui te llevan tatús.
The
Ajá.
Kalguran ports will be sending back rune grafts,
Oh,
which is a
shit,
new
sí se
passive
quedan.
tree mechanic that replaces the runesmithing service previously offered by the town. These are similar to tattoos, but instead of
Oh.
replacing stat nodes, they replace a passive tree mastery node.
Oh!
For
I
example,
like this.
Runegraft of the Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses gained from gloves.
Oh, o sea, es como un tatú,
Runegraft
pero
of the
para las
River is a chance
maestrías.
to recover your life to full if you reach low life. And the Runegraft of Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown.
Ah, pero solo puedes
Which I
tener uno a la
will
vez.
note includes cooldowns on your triggers, just in case you wanted to trigger even more spells.
También funcionan los triggers de
There
los
are many
spells.
other Runegrafts which cover a wide range of different builds and stats.
Un linked socket
Some are more
indica.
common and others rarer.
Global defense.
You can only use one of a given type at a time, but you can use them on any mastery on your passive tree, which can be particularly useful for off-class investment.
O
Lila
sea,
has continued to
los
make
puedo usar en cualquier
modifications to the
maestría de paso.
Recombinator. She has developed a new
Está
method
bueno
of
eso.
recombination that you may recognize from Path of Exile 2. For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which modifiers
no.
on the two input items
Oh,
you want
no.
to try merge together,
Oh no!
and it has a success chance you can see. This method can result in the items being destroyed.
It's
However, it is
gone!
a good option to use when trying to create items
It's
with fewer
gone!
mods to
Ruined
use as crafting
forever!
projects.
No!
Given the existing
It's gone!
recombinating mechanic was
Me
very
re estoy
powerful
feliz,
for
fuck
top-end
him.
crafting, we
Fuck the
didn't want to
combination,
remove
dude.
it.
Estaba harto de la
We have
meta de
kept it,
recombinar
and you
cosas.
can now choose to use it the old way or the new way.
¡No! ¡Se
By
puede usar
letting
como
fate decide,
antes!
it will combine the two items randomly.
¡No!
There is no risk of destroying either item, but it will be less predictable.
Ahora sí está mal. Lo quería muerto.
As Settlers is now a core mechanic, we've
No!
also added Atlas passive tree support. For
Ahora son
example,
las dos cosas.
if you wanted to gather more Varicium ore, you could take this notable.
Yo
Each
quería que
ore has a
muriera,
similar
men. O
node.
sea, me gusta Recombinator, pero estaba olvidado. Yo quería más ese meta, men.
Refiner's Bargain converts
Oh,
items dropped
no.
by possessed monsters into thaumaturgic dust, sulfite into random ores,
Bro, está haciendo una
and
montaña
life
rusa de
force into
emociones,
random
amigos.
crops. We've also added a set
Okay.
of Kalguran Scarabs, so you can add more ore deposits, increase the rarity of monsters that guard ore deposits to at least magic,
Ok.
or gather smelted bars from ore you mark instead of ores.
Alright.
To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a thriving town where you can employ a swath of workers to collect resources, refine ores, craft items, and run maps for you. Send shipments of resources in exchange for tattoos and rune grafts, using those to modify your passive
¿Por
tree to an
tattoos?
extent
¿Te
never seen
refieres por
before.
divines?
Following on from
¿Te
that, we've
refieres a
also
mandarlos por
made a
divines?
substantial rework
¿Y
to another
fragmentos de
important
mirror?
mechanic, Betrayal.
Aunque cuidado, puede que lo hayan cambiado,
As
¿eh?
a refresher, and to
Murió,
explain
pero
to new
sobrevivió,
players,
literalmente.
let's briefly explain what Betrayal is. Betrayal is a mechanic introduced in Act 9 and tells the story of Jun Ortoy and her investigation of the Immortal Syndicate.
Ajá.
This is a mysterious group of exiles who can seemingly come back from death.
Y
You
como
must
puedes
help Jun
ver
to uncover their leader,
por
the Syndicate
el...
Mastermind.
¿Cómo se llama? Por las
The Immortal
texturas.
Syndicate is
Fue
organized
hace
into
bastante
4
tiempo que lo
divisions:
pusieron.
transportation, fortification, research, and intervention.
Ok, ajá.
As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover the location of their leaders, tracking them to their safe houses. Defeating the division leaders at their safe houses will reward you with intelligence on the Syndicate Mastermind.
Ok.
In your journey to track down the Syndicate leader, you'll manipulate the members of the Immortal Syndicate to change divisions, form friendships and rivalries, and even banish them from the Syndicate for a time.
Ok, ajá. Entonces, we know, me tengo un video de esto.
Historically, after encountering and defeating the Syndicate Mastermind, the state of the Immortal Syndicate would reset, requiring you to start from the beginning of the investigation again. This has always been a difficult decision for players and can often feel bad. Do you fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up? Well, in the
Okay.
Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out the Mastermind to be completely separate from the core mechanic. The boss is now accessible through a new fragment that has a chance to drop from the safe house leaders at high levels.
Oh.
The Mastermind no longer resets the state of the Immortal Syndicate.
Ah, o
You
sea
can
que...
now build your Betrayal board to your liking, optimize it, do Mastermind fights, and reap the rewards without having to lose all your progress every time.
Literalmente me jodieron el video. Venga, ahora tengo que hacer un nuevo video de
The
Betrayal.
boss fight itself has also been improved, now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards.
Nuevas
By
recompensas
the way,
y
if you're a
menos
new
fácil
player to
morir.
Path of Exile 1, don't worry about all this detail. This content is optional, and you can discover and engage with it at your own pace. The Mastermind still has a chance to drop a Veiled Orb,
Ok,
now
Veil Orb.
renamed to Veiled Exalted Orb. Veiled
Quita
Chaos
uno, pone
Orbs are being
uno,
re-added to other safe
Y
house
las Veiled
leaders.
Chaos cambian todo. Perdón que no los puedo mostrar en
In
la cámara,
addition,
pero es las que ya
the
conocemos.
Mastermind now drops the new All Flame Embers. All Flame Embers are map fragments that replace monster packs and in-game
Oh,
maps
super
with different
escarabajos.
types of special monsters.
O sea, es lo de
These
Necrópolis.
packs have unusual properties, compositions,
Okay.
or rewards.
Damn.
For example, you
Está
might use the
stacked
All Flame
esta liga,
Ember
eh.
of Kulamak,
Está lit.
which replaces
Está
packs
stacked.
with syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying due to backtracking, but these monsters when revived are far more intense and rewarding. It is our intention with All Flames to provide many different types that combine with other mechanics, multiplying with your existing modifiers in new and interesting ways. Another good example of this is the All Flame Ember of Propagation. When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here will spread their modifiers to other rare monsters in the map.
Oh.
This can
Eso
be
está
useful
bueno.
when trying to create singular, very powerful, and very rewarding monsters. Something
Sí.
akin to meat sacks, which are making a reinvented comeback with this update too.
Oh shit, that's a big boy.
Another is the All-Flame Ember of Resplendence, which adds monsters that drop no items. But when you slay them, you get buff stacks of increased quantity and rarity to enhance the drops of all other monsters. All-Flame Embers can be placed in your map device like scarabs,
Están los
and used in
que
conjunction
tiran un
with
montón de
scarabs
caos.
to further customize your maps.
Así puedo
We're
terminar
looking
de
forward
joderme
to
la
seeing which
muñeca.
combinations players find to enhance their maps. Perhaps you'll use all scarabs, all flames, or maybe mix and match. It's up to you. The Mastermind's unique items have also been improved. The veiled
son
modifiers
minions, yeah.
generated
Leí
on these
aspectos de
items
Heller.
are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques. Bitterbind Point, for example, can now have various Spectre-specific outcomes, such as +1 additional Spectre.
Hey.
Aside from
Los-
improved rewards from the Mastermind, all the safe house rewards have also been rebalanced.
Oh.
We've done a pass on
oh.
the crafting sprees at the end of many safe houses. For those who aren't aware
Oh.
how these crafting sprees work, well, it's simple.
80 segundos.
There's a crafting bench with an item in it.
Hey,
and a bunch of
wait,
currency.
hey, hold on.
There's a limited amount of time, and your only
I
objective
came.
is to craft the best item possible before the time ends.
I
One of the
came.
problems that the crafting sprees have is that they often require you to have specific items on hand
I came,
in
dude.
order
Okay,
to best
yeah.
maximize your result. But how are you supposed to know that beforehand? In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This
Jesus,
has also
dude.
allowed us to add much more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring will be waiting for you. Test your crafting skill or luck with this Reflecting Mist crafting spree.
Con Reflecting Mist
See if
también.
you can create something worthy of Kalandra's praise.
Bueno, por 80 segundos es por lo menos más realista,
And in this
pero...
spree, you will find a pre-generated unique item
Único.
and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb, but not quite the same. Normally, you can only corrupt an item once, but uniques in this spree can be corrupted and re-corrupted as many times as there are orbs.
Oh.
This orb also allows you to get 2 corrupted implicits and has a much lower chance to brick the item. It can be a
¿Qué?
very useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course, if you
Bro,
push your
okay,
luck,
okay,
you can
Betrayal
still ruin
Farming,
the
dude.
item.
Se viene... Se le
There are
rompió.
also crafting sprees where you still need to provide an item, but those items are generally more accessible and it occurs less frequently.
Me pensé que iba a
This
poner
one
así un
allows you to
mirror.
bring your own normal rarity item. Then just go ballistic with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance, hoping to get your ideal
Wait,
unique.
ya va.
For most
You're
sprees,
fucking
the
kidding me.
rank of the syndicate member increases the amount of currency provided,
O sea,
the
ese es
quality
el...
of the
Vas a perder tu
pre-generated
tiempo
items,
y años
and
de tu
the time
muñeca.
allowed to craft your item. Aside from the crafting sprees, there are other new options too. If you love gambling for currency,
Gambling
how
for
about you
currency,
try opening
yes.
Varici's Emperor's Luck chests. These work just like the Emperor's Luck divination card and provide full stacks of currency. If you're lucky enough, unlike me, you could end up with a whole lot of divines.
Sí, claro, ajá.
Betrayal is a good source of veiled items. Veiled items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too.
Damn,
All of
lo
the
de
crafting
Betrayal
bench
está bastante
options
bien.
normally granted by unveiling items are instead now moved to the core game, so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock them. They are instead found at the
Hachi,
entrances to boss
Middle of the
rooms
game.
and in-game maps. On top of that, you no longer need to speak to Jun to unveil items. You can
Ese es
just
un buen
right-click them,
item.
or the equivalent on gamepad, and select which veiled modifier you want to unveil. Overall, Betrayal is now much more streamlined and more rewarding. Happy interrogations.
Shut up!
Pusieron ese efecto, eso no,
Now,
no se
before
moría
we
así.
get into our quality
La maté
of
como un
life
millón de veces,
additions,
así que lo sé.
let's quickly talk about some character balance. We will be doing
Character
our regular
balance,
character
let's
balance
go.
changes where we are bringing outliers in line to help evolve the meta, but we are also focusing our attention on buffing some specific things.
Okay.
This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells,
Winter of Rework.
adding new options to the Guardian, Berserker,
Guy Render
Elementalist,
Train buff cada 10
Saboteur,
segundos.
and Champion Ascendancy classes, which include some favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of
Oh
Freesia,
my god.
and buffing a whole bunch of transfigured gems that never really hit the mark.
Oh my god.
Combined with the new endgame crafting, improved
need
betrayal
another.
crafting options, rune graphs for your passive tree, new pinnacle unique items, new modifiers and Trathan gems from the Mercenaries,
Bro,
and of course
Jesus.
the Mercenaries themselves to act as an extension to your character.
Jesus,
it's safe to
dude.
say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think
¿Se
about.
acuerdan cuando dijeron que
Instead of
no
delving into
deprecia,
all of
no,
these in
no
more
va a ir a
detail,
core?
we figured
Yo
we'd
les
just
dije
let you
que
absorb them through the patch
algo de
notes
precio va a ir
so
core.
you can do it at your own pace. In the
Algo
Secrets
iba a ir
of the
core.
Atlas expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of
Ahí
life
está.
features that we know you've all been asking for.
Tengo que darle a Winter Orb. Vi
A
el
lot of these
rework.
have already
Espero que
been
sea
posted,
positivo.
but
Men, creo
let's
que
take a
Winter
look now in
Orb.
case you missed
Creo que
it.
vamos a Winter Orb, baby.
You can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu.
Ok,
Or
eso lo
by
habíamos
opening
visto.
any full screen
Bueno.
interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain pinnacle arenas, a debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing.
Sí, está bien. Lo voy a hacer como debe ser.
We're also making a change to how you use
Esto lo vimos
currency items
también.
on strongboxes
I like it.
and monsters imprisoned in essences.
Creo que vamos a
Based
empezar
on
en
the
Winter Orb,
currency in your
baby.
inventory and the state of the strongbox, these
Saben que
buttons will
Winter Orb
appear.
ellos la odian en GGG,
Valuable
así
currency
que
like
si
divine
está
orbs
buena,
have been
hay que
excluded
jugarlo
from
que
this
si la
as it
primera
would
semana
often
antes
be
que la
wasteful
nerfeen,
to
man.
use in this context.
Cuando no que la nerfeen
The
durante la
same
liga. Pero
applies
esto va a
to
ser esta liga,
essences
pues.
with
Y
the
ya.
remnant of corruption currency. Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now reroll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps. Doing so will
Nice.
reroll the base map and the Guardian of that map. The map device now has a small additional inventory. This is particularly useful if you're rolling many maps to run in sequence, or if you want to use varying amounts of scarabs or other map fragments. During
Nice.
breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach. On gamepads, we have separated the targeting of monsters and non-monsters, so you are able to target them independently. This removes a bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and monsters are nearby.
Ok.
You no longer have to kill all of them first.
Sí, no, eso sinceramente es fantástico,
Vendor
man.
windows will now remember your last search. This is remembered until you log
El
out
bro,
and is
esa
remembered on a
international
per
es
NPC
fantástica.
basis. The amount of characters you can type in the search field has also been increased. When using currency items, after right-clicking them, it will highlight all other items which that currency
Eso es
can
lo que
be
ya
used
tenemos
on.
en PoE 2, que me gusta que cuando vas a usar alguna currency,
There are
se
many other quality of
ilumina lo
life
que puedes usar la
improvements,
currency.
so keep an eye on the patch notes after this live stream concludes.
Ah,
Alongside
patch
the
notes
launch
cuando
of
termina
Secrets of the
esto.
Atlas,
Así que
we
nice.
are hosting a competitive event where players will race to be the first to kill the new pinnacle bosses. The event will take place in the hardcore, solo self-found Mercenaries of Trathus League.
No, estoy
We have
cansado.
some
No, no,
interesting
saco.
prizes in store for the winners.
A
Keep an eye on
trabajar,
the news in
saco.
the lead up to launch for more details about how the event will work and what its prizes are. Next up, we're going to be talking about our new
Oh,
league
por favor,
supporter
que seas
packs.
malo. No quiero gastar plata, man.
Today,
No
we're
tengo
launching
plata para
two new
gastar,
series
amigo.
of supporter packs: the Frisian Magistrate and Crypt Keeper packs.
Que sean malísimos, por
Each
favor.
tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive
Que sean muy
microtransactions.
feos, man.
As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic
Sí.
and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Frisian Magistrate
Oh,
series of supporter packs
Wait, eso después de dos.
contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Ok.
The Frisian Magistrate character effect will bind your
normal.
character in thorny vines and roses.
No
You
se
can
ve tan
select
cool.
which parts of the character you want to have covered. Either your entire body, your lower body, or your upper body. As you approach waypoints, it will emit leaves and golden petals towards it.
Ok,
When
eso no me
activating the
interesa.
waypoint, it will create a burst around you.
O sea, no se ve mal, pero no me...
Envelop your weapon in thorny vines and golden flora with the Frisian Magistrate weapon effect.
Ok,
Your
son...
weapon will also create a trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies. You
okay.
are the law while wearing the armor of the powerful Frisian Grand Magistrate.
Ok, eso se ve un poquito más cool.
The spider
Pero todavía
blossom
no me
head
mata.
activates its defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near rare or unique enemies.
Una
The
araña que
Frisian
se...
Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2 forms. Equip either the Tombstone variant, which will leave tombstones in your honor when you meet your demise, or equip
No.
the Cape variant to cause the corpses of slain enemies to become enveloped in rose thorn vines and blossom with golden flowers. Keep track of how well, or poorly, your ultimatums with the Trial Master have gone with the Trials of Chaos hideout decoration.
Alright,
It will keep track of the total number of waves completed, the total number of ultimatums succeeded, or even failed. On top of that, it will track the total number of times you've defeated the Trial Master himself.
No he hecho tanto de esto, así que
The
normal.
Crypt Keeper Pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
What is that? Se ve cool.
With the Crypt Keeper finisher effect, death itself will tear through into the realm of the living and steal the soul of slain unique enemies.
Bro, yo compro esa cosa, estoy matando un boss, así que sea violento, y veo que esta vaina sale, y yo sigo pegando por si acaso.
Become the true master of the undead by wearing the hallowed Crypt Keeper armor set.
Eso se ve bastante cool.
It comes with a more armored helmet variant and a creepy mask with a spectral hood.
A creepy mask.
Looking to have some fun during idle time in your hideout? The Burrowing Bramble Bash hideout decoration will test your reaction speed as you try to whack as many Devourer heads as possible in the shortest
¿Qué pasa
time.
si un Spark?
It also comes with a scoreboard, so you can
¿Qué
try to
pasa si
set
un
new
Spark?
records to show off to your friends or just visitors coming
O sea,
to
le
trade.
pego a todo y gano.
Equip yourself with the Ghostly Dead as you ride the line between the living and the dead with the Sacred Crypt Keeper back attachment. The Sacred Archives map device resembles a magical library with the works of scholars that come to life when you open a map. This map device tracks how many of each core league you've completed in in-game maps.
¿Cuánto de tu vida has dejado en el
These
juego? I
packs are
like it.
now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain
el
so
segundo me
during
gusta.
Path of Exile, Mercenaries of
El
Travis.
segundo me gusta, man. Fuck.
Additionally, any
caso está
microtransactions from
demasiado
these
cool.
supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Mercenaries of Travis League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Additionally, the Dawn of the Hunt mystery box will be made available for Path of Exile 1.
Oh.
If you have already unlocked any microtransactions from this box in Path of Exile 2, you will of course immediately have access to them
Los que
in
compraron
Path of
la
Exile 1.
Mystery Box de Path of Exile 2
Thank you
la
so
pueden
much
tener
for
en
your
Path of Exile 1
ongoing
también.
support.
O sea,
We're just about to start the
va a
Q&A
estar
with ZD.
desbloqueado también, la vas a tener.
Afterwards, we'll
Nice.
post the full patch notes for Path of Exile, Secrets of the Atlas.